Growing an ant population at home can be an engaging and educational experience. Ants are fascinating creatures with complex social structures and behaviors that can be observed up close in a controlled environment. To successfully cultivate and expand an ant population at home, you must provide suitable living conditions, food, and care while ensuring their environment mimics their natural habitat. Below is a detailed guide on how to grow an ant population at home. First, you need to choose the type of ants you want to raise. Different ant species have unique needs and behaviors, so selecting a species that is well suited for captivity is essential. For beginners, species like Lasius niger, black garden ant, or Formica rufa, wood ant, are good choices because they are hardy, easy to care for, and adaptable. Once you've selected a species, research its specific requirements, such as habitat, diet, and climate preferences, to provide an optimal environment. The foundation of any ant colony is the queen. The queen is responsible for laying eggs, which grow into worker ants and expand the population. To obtain a queen ant, you can capture one during its nuptial flight season, typically in the spring or summer. During this time, queens leave their parent colonies to mate and establish new colonies. Look for winged ants flying or crawling on the ground. These are newly mated queens searching for a nesting site. Carefully capture the queen using a test tube or small container, ensuring she remains unharmed. Alternatively, you can purchase a queen ant from a reputable ant supplier. Once you have a queen, the next step is to provide her with a suitable environment. You can purchase a ready-made formicarium or create one yourself using materials like clear plastic or glass containers. A common setup involves using a test tube with a water reservoir to keep the environment humid, as ants require moisture to survive. Fill one end of the test tube with water and plug it with cotton to prevent leaks while maintaining access to water. Place the queen inside and seal the open end with breathable cotton to ensure ventilation. The initial setup should prioritize the queen's comfort and security. Queens often feel stressed in open or exposed environments, so keep the setup in a dark, quiet place to mimic the conditions of a natural nest. The queen will begin laying eggs within a few weeks if she feels safe. These eggs will develop into larvae, pupae, and eventually worker ants. This process can take several weeks to months, depending on the species and environmental conditions. Maintaining the right environmental conditions is crucial for the growth of your ant population. Most ants thrive in temperatures between 20 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit and 86 degrees Fahrenheit, so placing the formicarium in a warm area is essential. However, avoid direct sunlight, as it can overheat the setup. Humidity levels should be moderate to high, typically around 50–70%, as ants require moisture for survival. Regularly monitor the water reservoir in the test tube or formicarium and refill it as needed to maintain humidity. Feeding the ants is another critical aspect of their care. Ants are omnivorous and require a varied diet to stay healthy. Protein is essential for the growth and development of larvae, while carbohydrates provide energy for workers. Common food sources include small insects like fruit flies or mealworms for protein, and sugary substances like honey, sugar water, or fruit for carbohydrates. Place a small amount of food near the nest entrance to allow the ants to forage naturally. Be careful not to overfeed, as excess food can attract mold or pests. Remove any uneaten food within 24 hours to maintain cleanliness. As the colony grows, you may need to expand the ants' living space. Worker ants will eventually explore and forage for food outside the initial test tube or formicarium. To accommodate this, Connect additional chambers or use a larger formicarium with interconnected tunnels and chambers. Ensure that the new areas are secure and escape-proof, as ants are adept at finding tiny gaps. You can use a thin layer of mineral oil or a specialized ant barrier around the edges of the setup to prevent escapes. Observation and maintenance are ongoing tasks when growing an ant population. Regularly check on the ants to ensure their environment remains clean, secure, and well maintained. Avoid disturbing the queen or colony excessively, as stress can hinder their growth. Clean the formicarium periodically by removing debris, dead ants, or mold. Be gentle during maintenance to avoid damaging the nest or harming the ants. As the colony grows, you may observe fascinating behaviors such as foraging, tunnel building, brood care, and communication through pheromones. Documenting these activities can be a rewarding way to learn more about the ant's social structure and habits. Over time, the colony may produce new queens and males, signaling maturity. In some cases, you can allow the colony to undergo its natural life cycle, including nuptial flights, or you can choose to manage the population by removing new queens to prevent overpopulation. It's important to note that growing an ant population requires a commitment to ethical care and responsibility. Ensure that the ants are kept in a safe and controlled environment, and avoid releasing non-native species into the wild, as this can disrupt local ecosystems. Additionally, some species are protected or regulated, so always research and comply with local laws and regulations before starting your ant-keeping journey. In summary, growing an ant population at home involves selecting a suitable species, obtaining a queen, and providing an optimal environment for the colony's growth. Proper habitat setup, consistent care, and an understanding of the ant's needs are essential for success. By observing and nurturing these tiny creatures, you can gain a deeper appreciation for the complex behaviors and the intricate workings of their social systems. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.